Hey guys, Evan Ork here, and today we're going to be doing a review on the MonsterArts Bootleg King Ghidorah figure. Now, before you take a look at the thumbnail without reading the title and go, wow, Evan has the MonsterArts King Ghidorah, well, yes, but there's a catch. It's probably you can tell by the heads, a bootleg. That's right, it is a bootleg, something that I am definitely not proud of, but in all honesty, I did not intend to get this. I got scammed. To say the least. I looked it up on eBay, knowing that Amazon's price was too high, hoping I'd find something maybe used, but still the real deal and maybe a little bit less expensive. And I saw these scammers used images of the real King Ghidorah MonsterArts and posted it and made it seem like it was what they were selling, but in reality it was this poorly made bootleg. But I've actually learned to respect this, and I'll tell you why. Now, look, you can call me ridiculous, like, oh my god, this is a bootleg. Why is he reviewing this? Why is he proud of this? Well, look, I have the 84 bootleg, and I've learned to not only just grow tolerant of it, the 84 bootleg isn't that bad. Sure, the spike paint with the white outline is kind of ridiculous and unnecessary, and the golden eyes is also really dumb, but that comes with bootlegs, and in general, that doesn't mean the whole entire figure is bad. Take, for example, this. And I know you can't see all of it, my apologies for that. This is so big I can't really zoom out and show everything, but everything but the heads really on this is actually really nice, and I'm going to get into that in a second. First things first, I'm just going to get into the pros right here. First things first, the first pro I like about this figure is articulation. Now, this articulation I'm sure would be much better on the real deal, but again, this does not have bad articulation. It's actually quite good. The head movement is really, really nice. You can't really see, and what I really admire about this is that you actually can't make out any really lines that kind of like separate some of the joints. It looks like it's all connected. I'm sure that's the same thing with the real MonsterArts, but still, it's you really can't like see, how it's moving. It just seems like it's like the real thing moving around. You know what I mean? So basically, this is the thing when it comes to this figure. So again, articulation. You also have articulation here on the chest, here on the mouth, legs here. Right here, see, they got the tail in the back, which also is pretty good movement without looking to, without seeing many of the lines in between the joints. So that's one thing I have to say about this figure. Maybe bootleg, articulation is still nice. The next thing I like about this figure is the detail. Now, the detail on this figure is right around the corner with the paint job, but either way, the detail on this figure is really, really nice, mainly because you still get a lot of the nice scales across his body. The same kind of scales you'd see across the real King Ghidorah, and both probably just other companies too, not just MonsterArts. But you get to see these scales, which actually, feel sharpish in a way. You also see the detail with the wings. It's very accurate with the wings there. The cool detail with these lines and this kind of like material that's... Oh! Look at this! And as you might already guess, that is going to be a con, but still staying true to what we're doing right now, just talking about pros. I still argue detail on this is actually not that bad. Facial detail is really, really bad, but as I said, besides the heads, I really do actually, and I have learned to admire this figure. So let's move on to the next thing I like about this figure. Now, as you might expect, it is paint job. Now, the paint job on this figure it's very booming in some areas. Like the light is shining on it, and you can definitely see right here, like the yellow golden shine. And I personally like it. It comes across as very booming. The color, like I said, especially in the light. I mean, look at this. It's really nice coloring. I just don't see any reason why it should be labeled as bad or anything like that. Even the paint job on the faces is actually okay. But of course the detail on the face is really bad, but we already talked about that. But yeah, paint job on this is actually really not that bad. A lot of the stuff I'm talking about is really not that bad. In fact, most of the stuff is above average, and yes, it's above average for a bootleg. I kid you not. But we still have cons, and that being said, let's move on to the cons of this figure. Now, I really have two major cons with this figure, just two major cons. You might be surprised, this might be the first review in a while where I haven't had nitpicks. Let's just move this back for you guys. First con is the faces. Now, by the way, the two cons are, will take an equal amount of chunk from the rate, both an entire point, but still, I'd say the faces, if I had to choose, is the bigger problem. I mean, the face detail, look at this, okay? This probably has the worst face detail because literally the jaw is ahead of the snout. That's my biggest problem with these facial details, is that the jaw is ahead of the snout. And you don't really see that as much with the other figures, but then that's the thing. There's a very strange difference between these heads. This head makes it seem like it's okay, but it still has a wiggly jaw right here. You can tell. Same thing here, wiggly jaw right here, even wigglier jaw to be honest with you. But okay, but better detail than this one. This has got it all wrong. You got this jaw, which is probably the loosest out of them all, and like I said, jaw or the bottom mouth, the bottom part of the mouth is longer than the nose and the snout. So the facial detail on this, may I remind you, is absolute garbage. Now, there are certain positions of this you can put it in that are, I guess, better than others. Like right now, this head actually isn't that bad, but if you were to move it on the side, it looks much worse. But if you were to kind of hide it in a way and kind of maybe look down, it doesn't really show as bad. Now, the second in line con, which is, like I said, going to take an equal chunk out of the rate is, as you already know, how easy the wings come off with this. And at first, it actually was much stiffer. I don't really know how to describe it. I guess I just put it in a position where I could have knocked it down a few times and it got it loose. This I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it with this wing, but to make it clear, this wing, the second wing, just comes off just as easily as this one. So yeah, this wing comes off way too easily. They both do, and it's kind of annoying. You could position it in a way so that it's harder to fall out, but still, why? I mean, again, it goes to show how crappy bootlegs can be. But still, for the 50th time, I've learned to admire this figure. But that being said, let's rate it. I'm going to rate it an 8 out of 10, a solid 8 out of 10. I know what you guys are going to tell me right now. How can you give a bootleg SH MonsterArts an 8 out of 10? And this is not a joke. This is not, I repeat, not a joke. I've just learned to admire this figure. I've taken the two biggest problems out of it, not seeing any other big problems, to be honest with you. And I gave it a fair rate. 1 point out of the rate for the heads, another point out of the rate for the wings. So that brings it out to an 8 out of 10. I obviously wouldn't recommend getting this because why should I recommend a bootleg? That's where I'm still not going to really maybe go as far as to say I recommend it. I don't really recommend it. Try and get the real deal, and if you can't, unfortunately, unless you can find a real one that's affordable, maybe there's your go-to. But still, that's all I really have to say about this figure. This also might be the last review in a while, and this time I think I'm being serious because I'm looking around right now and there's not really much else to review. But I still have that Darth Vader model kit to build, and yes, it's been months since I last worked on it, so once that's built, expect a review for that as well. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys later, and bye-bye.